Hello, my name is Paul Holzen and I'm the Engineering Director for the City of Franklin. Today I'd like to talk to you a little bit about the city's proposed Columbia Avenue project. Before I talk about the project, I think it's important to understand the regional significance of Columbia Avenue. Columbia Avenue is known as US Route 31 and goes all the way through Williamson County and parallels I-65. It goes through the city of Spring Hill, Thompson Station, the city of Franklin, and the city of Brentwood. So regionally, it is a very significant road. Currently, it has around 18,900 vehicles per day on it and 7% truck traffic. One concern along this roadway is the accident count. Accident counts on this stretch of road are 2 times higher than the statewide average. And so as we look to develop options, we took a focus in to really understand the current and future operations, safety, and the physical impact that it had on business owners throughout the corridor. So now let's take a look at option number 1, which is the 5-lane typical section option. And so we'll start off at the intersection of Mack Hatcher and Columbia Avenue. And so what we're looking at doing at this intersection is building it out to full capacity on the Columbia Avenue side north of Mack Hatcher. And what you notice here is you'll have double left turn lanes for the future Mack Hatcher, a single through lane and 1 right turn lane. You'll notice that there's an extra lane there that's hatched out. The reason being is that in the future we're planning to have 2 southbound lanes as you head south on Columbia Avenue. And as that intersection is built out in the future, or Columbia Avenue is widened in the future to the south, it'll set it up so that it's not disrupting Columbia Avenue again long term. And so as we continue to head north, what you'll notice with the 5-lane access management section is we're constantly looking for opportunities to reduce, combine, and manage access points throughout the corridor. Long term, as we do that, it'll provide good and safe access, which is ultimately going to benefit the city and the business owners throughout the corridor. If you notice at the Williamson Memorial Funeral Home, we would take one of their main entrances and convert it to a right in, right out. You'll notice the green area, which is really green to highlight the fact that we're proposing to put a median there, would limit your left turn movements. The reason we continuously try to eliminate left turn movements is because of the severity of the accidents that occur as you make left turns. And so again, as we go through this corridor, we're constantly looking to try to reduce and combine and limit access points when they can be adequately eliminated while still providing adequate service to the properties. If you look to the north at the intersection, the other access point, the Williamson Memorial Funeral Home and the shopping center, it's a signalized intersection. You'll see that we're modifying some of the lane configuration on the Williamson Memorial Funeral Home, mainly to set the signal up to be more efficient, to allow it to operate in a combined phase mode versus a split phase operation. What that means is it's just more efficient operation as it relates to signal timing. As we continue north, you'll notice again the median continuing to provide access management. At the Kroger Fuel Center, we're proposing to put in a right in, right out at that location. And then at the intersection of Southeast Parkway and Shadow Green Drive, again, that's signalized today and it would remain signalized. As we continue to head northbound, we would maintain that median where we can adequately provide that without negatively impacting business owners. And we would look to have a right in to the Burger King, which is the way that access point operates today. Headed farther north, again, with the Corner Pub and the Car Bazaar, we look to try to combine access points to better manage operations and safety on the corridor. Alpha Drive, which serves a number of businesses, would remain unsignalized, which the problem with this is long-term it will become very difficult to make left-turn movements out of Alpha Drive in these side streets during the peak rush hour periods. As you continue to head farther north to Century Court, again, we're looking to keep the signal there that is there today, and on the east side, we would work with the business owners to have a combined access point that funnels everybody to the signal, and again, controlling and reducing access points will help us manage the corridor both operationally and safety. Will be a big improvement long term. As we continue to head north along the corridor, you'll see that we are proposing at the Auto Masters to combine access points The side street where the Dollar General is and the Porter Paints, that intersection would remain unsignalized. Again, it will become extremely difficult to make left turn maneuvers out of these side streets during peak hours, given the traffic volumes that we're projecting. Beasley Drive, unsignalized intersection long term, also serves the city's public works facility, Village Place, and the O'Reilly Auto Parts, would remain unsignalized. And again, making left turn maneuvers out of this will be extremely difficult during peak hours. At the Solar Solutions and the Market Master, we would look to provide a right in. That's mainly because of the gas station there. We would need to be able to circulate a fuel truck around that facility so that we don't impact their businesses. But we would look to remove the right out location there, the left out there, and we would push them to the side street, which is Beasley Drive. As we continue to head north at the Rolling Hills Community Church and the YMCA soccer fields, we would look to install a median where we can, and again, limit access points where the business could adequately be served from one access point or a side street. And so today we have pretty good access management along this section of the street, and we would look to continue that with a median starting at the YMCA soccer fields and heading north. So on the west side is the proposed Longview development. There's an existing signal there that serves the Fellowship Bible Church and the Franklin Business Park. That signal would remain, and we would continue that median to the north in front of the Lasco property and the Longview development. As we get farther north to the future Taco Bell and the Hardee's and the Equipment Auto Repair Shop, we would look to make sure their access points are strictly off of Confederate Drive, which is proposed to be a signalized intersection. So that will be one of the new signals installed as part of this concept plan. And we'll continue north to the Moody Tire and Auto Service and Carr Avenue. At this point, it basically becomes a 5-lane typical section with a center turn lane for left turning maneuvers. Again, all of these access points here, we will try to push them to a side street, and making left turns out of these locations during peak hours will become extremely difficult. At the county property that is currently occupied by the TMA group, we would recommend that this become a right in, right out only to limit those left maneuvers, and that's mainly because of its proximity to the intersection of Downs Boulevard. And as we continue to head to the north, you can see that we're doing the same thing with the True Value Garden Store and the Kubota Franklin property. You also notice on the east side we're proposing a new public roadway that could provide service to the collision center, to C&F Tire, to Napa Auto Parts, and it basically provides them a new access point to ultimately locate a safe point to access the arterial roadway, which is at the intersection of Downs Boulevard. The Harpeth Value facility would then be accessed off of Downs Boulevard. And as you head farther north, we would recommend that Avondale Avenue be converted to a right-in, right-out. A lot of those residential structures have good connectivity, and there's a good transportation network in that area, and they can access Columbia Avenue through other connections and head different directions due to connectivity that has been provided in that area. And that completes the summary of the 5-lane option.